Okay, I think we can gradually start to get into our organization for the last roundtable. I would like to thank the participants to this roundtable, and we already have Fanos and Nick on the panel. I can see them. Well, good morning, Fano. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Excellent. Thank you very much for being with us. We have run a bit late with the previous roundtable, so let's try to catch up in this. I'm sure you are absolutely ready to do it. And we will have Tassos and Anna with us. Where is Anna? I cannot see Anna.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dasso. Anna, are you with us? Maybe she's still coming back from the break. I don't know. Anyway, we'll wait for Anna to come back. The theme for this roundtable, let's say it, is the Pantera initiative in focus, the regional stakeholders discussing their expectations from Pantera on how Pantera can facilitate the active collaboration with research and innovation stakeholders. And so this roundtable brings together Fanos, who comes from the industry, and also Nick, who comes from the Cyprus Institute, who is doing research and innovation work there. And together with us, the Pantera team, we will discuss this issue through a couple of questions that we have put forward. We have some time to discuss this, but okay, Anna is with us. So Anna, if you're ready, we can go forward. We are
can
all
you
ready.
hear me?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Hear. So,
okay, great.
The floor is yours. You can go.
Thank you very much. My name is Anna Mutule, and I'm a head of Smart Grid Research Center at the State Research Institute in Latvia, named Institute of Physical Energetics, IPE. And I'm a part of the Pantera project and work package 6. And the main goal of this work package is to provide organizational support in order to establish a regional coordination group. We call them Pantera Desk 6+1. And we would like to ensure the wide participation and the involvement stakeholders throughout the project, and we would like to create a local network in order to create a special help to each country. Through this approach, the Pantera Desk 6+1, we would like to determine the needs of each country. And actually, we are very actively working on this right now. And we have a good opportunity to understand the needs and maybe also to create some kind of best practice from the Desk 3, which covers the region of Cyprus and Malta. And therefore, the main objective of this roundtable is to engage stakeholders from your region, from the regional Desk 3, and to understand your needs and to give you some information about the Pantera activities and to create a further cooperation together with the Pantera. The process will be organized will be based on the GLISER. We have created several questions to the audience, and if everybody ready, I can start with the question. So the first question is actually dedicated to the main barriers of the regions, and what are the main barriers for the regional stakeholders to find funding for their research. And you have several choices, and we have 2 minutes to answer this question. You can pick up to 2 choices, and then after we will get results, we will discuss this feedback in details. Please pick your choice.
We have 30 seconds left.
Okay, maybe I can send some words because there is the choice. I mean, there is maybe not so difficult. And we really just finalized one survey from the selected stakeholders from our 16 countries, target countries, and we really get some results. And this question was also included in this survey. And I would say that we see that there is a lack of different kind of, information, network, and other. Okay, we already get some results, and I would like to ask Tassos to comment on the outcome of the first question, maybe mainly from the Cyprus point of view, and what steps did you go through to overcome the barriers by yourself? Could you please comment on this?
Yes, thank you, Anna. Hello to everybody. Hope the sound is good, first of all. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you. Actually, the responses are very close to what I expected. There are several barriers that someone, an organization, an entity, when it comes, let's say, to their involvement in R&I funding, and actually when it comes also from international sources, not from national sources, we see that we have a variety of barriers that need to be overcome. Definitely, there are these barriers differ when we are talking about different types of organizations. So I will try, let's say, to isolate out of the questions, out of the responses and the options that were given to our participants. I will try to isolate and further discuss those faced by SMEs. Because in our case, we are an SME. We have been involved and we are still involved, let's say, actively in Europe, in R&I activities funded by the European Commission. Actually, I think that we have managed, let's say, to effectively address the barriers that we faced throughout this process and establish ourselves very well, let's say, in this domain, being also the most successful company, private company in Cyprus in terms of R&I funding. So very quickly, I will give some headlines, let's say, and further discuss the barriers that we faced and the challenges, actually, because it has a dual nature, actually, all this process. So I will start with the red one, which seems to be the most popular as an answer. So network the lack of networking. So definitely, when an organization is about to be involved in R&D activities funded by the European Commission, I think it really makes sense, let's say, to develop and promote actually their competencies appropriately through networking activities. So this is a challenge, and this is definitely, this challenge becomes bigger, let's say, when it comes to SMEs, since it's by nature, let's say, that the traceability of SMEs is rather low. Even if you may be very innovative, or even if the offerings and the technologies that you offer actually and that you are working on are cutting edge or whatever, we need to have in mind that SMEs, and especially SMEs coming from small markets like the one that we have in Cyprus, in comparison with other markets in Europe, we are a very small market. So there's a huge effort and there's a huge investment actually as a portion of the budget that an SME may have available in order to get involved into networking activities and increase, let's say, the outreach of their technologies, their competencies towards the wider R&D community. And this was one of the main challenges that we faced and we have faced it, let's say, not long ago, because we are a young company. We were established at the beginning of 2017, and this was one of our key priorities, to invest in networking and promote our competencies, let's say, in order to become attractive for external partners to collaborate with us and be familiarized with our technologies and see how we can add value, let's say, to collaborative approaches for the implementation of relevant research and innovation actions. The second challenge that we face, and this is a continuous challenge actually, I do not consider that it will be overcome, let's say, at a certain point, is that we need to focus on the yellow part of the pie, which has to do with the creation of a strong regional and I would also add national network in order to allow the different technologies, the different results of R&D activities, let's say, developed within the respective projects to be validated, to be demonstrated, and definitely in the future to be deployed, let's say, in real life conditions in our country. So this is a challenge. We always try to team up with the industry in Cyprus, with, of course, the universities, but also with the most important energy stakeholders from the network side, from the retail side, from the construction side, because construction is part, let's say, of the energy transition as well through renovation. We always try to team up and actually synchronize our research agendas in order to collaboratively work and produce results that really make sense for the local community, for the local business, and for the local market. So I definitely second, let's say, the opinion of our audience, let's say, that this is a key challenge that needs to be overcome, let's say, a key challenge that needs to be addressed, and a barrier, let's say, that many organizations face at this point in order to get involved and effectively actually involved and produce some value out of their projects. Another aspect that I would like, let's say, to highlight is the fact of the lack of the human resources. I assume that it goes under the other category because it's not explicitly mentioned in the responses. So what we need to have in mind is that in order for a company to be competitive, they need to invest in their personnel, to invest in their human resources, and actually attract and bring together highly skilled personnel with R&I interests, with a very strong background, in order not only to implement something, to carry out a specific task or perform a specific development, but also evolve and remain at the state of the art and further develop, let's say, specific technologies in order to further promote innovation. So these are the key barriers, actually, that and the key challenges, let's say, in relation also to the activities that we perform in Suite 5 with respect to research and innovation. Some hints, actually, from our experience, as I said before, with regards to networking, you need to invest, you need to spread the news, you need to participate in events, workshops, info days, different instruments, let's say, that are utilized at national and EU level in order to further promote your competencies and become attractive to the different partners and the different organizations involved in R&I. Definitely, another hint is that you need to remain focused, actually, and specialize and gain deep knowledge in specific areas, not doing anything, but specialize and develop your competencies, let's say, on a specific domain, and progressively evolve and expand, let's say, to further domains, so as to avoid underperforming or becoming not so attractive, let's say, by performance in the different projects that an organization may be involved in. But the most important thing is that is what I mentioned before. You need to enhance the knowledge of the company. You need to involve and engage with key personnel, with skilled personnel, and actually become self-sustainable by leading yourself efforts and initiatives, let's say, in the terms of proposals, in order to attract the required funding for performing your research and innovation activities and realizing your research and innovation interests. Actually, this is the way that we followed this self-sustainability approach. This is something that we followed very strictly in our company, and within the last 3 years that we are active, we managed, let's say, to get involved in more than 35 Horizon 2020 projects, mainly in the field of energy and actually in the field of ICT and energy, because we are an ICT company. And actually, through this approach and through increasing our knowledge and building, let's say, our competencies, we came to a situation that we needed, let's say, to find ways to adapt our technologies offering to the energy domain, to the energy reality. So it allowed us to further evolve. Of course, it required, let's say, a lot of search for knowledge and a lot of elaboration, let's say, on how our technologies may become valuable for the energy domain stakeholders. We think that we have progressed very well on this. We found the sweet spot between these two different domains, and I think that this was a key element and a key factor, let's say, that facilitated our success in attracting funding for our activities.
But we are running a bit of time. And
just a small remark that I want to make is that this is something that we try to promote from the Pantera side as well, because we are involved in Pantera. We are talking about the platform, but actually what we need to have in mind is that the platform is not something that came out of our minds. We didn't work in a silo. The platform that will be offered through Pantera as the AIRI platform will aim actually at promoting and providing actually the services to the different actors in the low-spending countries in order to get further involved in this kind of activities. Based on our experience, we defined, let's say, a set of services, first of all, for increasing the knowledge, for creating a knowledge space, an information actually space for the different R&I actors in order to increase their knowledge on specific issues around energy, around smart energy systems, actually. But also, based on our experience on the lack of networking, I think that someone may find very useful the services that the Pantera, the AERI platform, actually is planning to give in terms of matchmaking, but also in terms of promotion of competencies of the different organizations through a research and innovation marketplace. So I tried very briefly, given the time restrictions, to provide our experience, but also how this experience, let's say, has been mapped to what functionalities will be offered by the Pantera platform, as we are members of the consortium. So hope I was clear enough and as comprehensive as I could be in this frame. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tassos, for your detailed, let's say.
Can I interrupt you 1 minute, Anna?
Yes.
Fanos is in a rush. He's leaving at 1:45, and so can we give him the floor to position himself in the replies? And if he has time, he will reply also to the rest of the second question. But because he has to go, let's give him the floor to say his views, and then we move on.
Yes, please, Fanos. Could you please give us your opinion, please? And as I understood that you are representing Cyprus Employers and Industrialist Federation, your opinion is also very important for us as a Pantera project. Could you?
Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the invitation. Regarding the question and the Pantera project, I mean, when we talk about SMEs in Cyprus, we actually mean small businesses, small enterprises, not even medium size, because the majority of the enterprises are in the size of 5 to 15 people. And as Tassos mentioned before, there is a short in financing and human resource in order to promote the research and innovation in our everyday operation. So that's the most critical barrier for the SMEs in the country and the members of our federation. And at the same time, yes, I will agree that first of all, from my point of view, the biggest barrier is the lack of information. And there is the majority of the business people and employers in the country, they know very little about the research and the funding that is available in the EU level through those platforms and projects and schemes. And yes, after they will be informed, they need to find ways forward in order to do the networking necessary and start thinking in the way that research and development and innovation has to do. I mean, and it's a matter of culture, and we need to educate our employers and our business people in the country in order to participate in this kind of schemes and platforms in research in general. That's my...
Thank you very much for your opinion. And since we are running a bit later, we will go straight to the second question of our roundtable. And it will be, what do you think is the most important support that the Pantera regional activities can give to the stakeholders? You still have 2 minutes to answer this question, and you can see we have 7 choices, and you can pick up to 3 choices from this. So it's mainly, how to say, based on the increase the visibility and different kind of possibilities through European organizations and through maybe contributing to the EU policies and so on. Please read, make your choice, and we'll discuss the answers. You have 2 minutes. I would like to say here that for us as the Pantera and actually ED platform the developers is very important also to create the most appropriate ways how to involve our target countries in this kind of activities, in the R&D activities. Oh, we already have results and Panos, if you are still with us, can I please ask you to maybe to comment these choices and these replies, and maybe you can also provide information how the organization can strengthen the national stakeholders network, and what kind of joint activities you feel that can be shared with the regional desk 3 with the help of Pantera project.
Through the federation, yeah, it's a very good pool of business people that we need to inform, and I think information session and the dissemination of should pass through OEF, and yeah, to open up the access to various information related from regional desks, as you mentioned in the one of the options. It's critical for us to start building our culture and way forward. I mean, the way of thinking in order to approach these research aspects and get information from what research is doing and how our companies and SMEs can move toward that direction in order to develop innovation and starting differentiate from their standard pipeline.
But do you have this feeling that we need maybe to organize more regional, let's say, workshops or networking activities in order to involve your stakeholders and to provide them necessary information, maybe to find partners? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Very important.
Okay, thank you very much. And what do you think it's? What is your feeling? How they can be organized through the platform, or maybe like a face-to-face meeting? What is the speciality of site?
I would prefer face-to-face, but I don't know if the period and the.
No, we are not taking it down this Corona. Let's say, let's be how to say, yeah, that. We will have, I mean, in sometimes I hope they will overcome this problem, but in general, as I understand that you prefer face-to-face meetings.
I prefer in general networking to be done face-to-face meeting. I mean, it's much more effective. That's what I feel, and that's what I see in business.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. And yeah,
Apologies for leaving late, for leaving early. This.
have a nice day. Thank you very much for your participation.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. And yes, and yeah, we can see that from the actually 7 choices, we have really, how to say, 4, and one of them is very, how to say, 60%. And yeah, we should, as a Pantera consortium, we should think about this. We should analyze these results, maybe to compare these results with the different desks, and then, of course, we will come up with a solution and for this kind of activity. Is any other comments on this question, maybe from the other participants? Okay, so we can go further, and I would like to ask our roundtable participant Nicholas, also considering the results of the answers on this second question, how maybe to discuss this, how is your organization can foreseen, your role can be foreseen as a national stakeholder, and maybe also to create as a national network, stakeholder network, and what kind of joint activities you feel can be organized together with your organization?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me here and for this opportunity to discuss these very important subjects. I'm from the Cyprus Institute, and we work on, of course, a much more narrow field of energy than all the fields which are covered by Pantera. Our main focus is on solar thermal energy and concentrated solar power, but it doesn't matter because the networking principles are actually the same. It's just a question of scaling up. We actually have, well, there's something concrete that we could actually offer here as part of this, this initiative of Pantera. In 2014, as part of the Stage STE project, it was the last of the large FP7 energy projects just before Horizon kicked in. And as part of that, we created a national working group in 7 different countries of multi-stakeholder groups, civil society, industry, including OEV, academics, decision makers, with the specific purpose of creating a national working group focusing around the area of solar thermal energy in that specific case. This group survived the end of the project and reinvented itself, and in particular took part in the set plan process for that narrow field of concentrated solar power. And it has kept growing ever since and contributing to new projects. Most recently, a project dedicated to solar heat for industrial processes, for example, and the Sfera project, which is a distributed European infrastructure project for solar thermal energy research infrastructures. And so this group still exists. It involved some of the stakeholders that are part of the Pantera project. I know Venizelos is involved. I know that Fanos will know that his organization is also part of this. Now, as I mentioned, this was designed to be a focus group or a sounding board which can help the government, but also which can liaise with other similar groups all around Europe on that very narrow field of solar thermal energy. But it would take very little to tweak it, to actually transform it into a national working group dealing with sustainable energy issues more generally. The people are there, and in Cyprus, we're not specialized enough in any case. Most of the participants in this group are interested generally in energy issues, in smart grids, in all the subjects that Pantera is interested in. And they joined this group because they saw solar thermal energy as one of the fields that they're interested in. But in fact, they have the broad range of expertise. For example, the local energy authority is part of this group too, the Cyprus Energy Agency. And they are connected to their counterparts in these other European countries, in Italy, in Spain, in Portugal. And so we could easily reactivate this network and give it a kick and expand it to become more compatible with what Pantera is trying to do?
Okay, thank you very much for your opinion, and maybe share with us some experience. And yes, and actually, yeah, we are almost finished with this roundtable, and it really was your opinion was very important for us. And maybe the last, not least, but last question to our roundtable participants. What do you think about, are you happy with your regional and European Union network? I understood already that, yes, that from the Nicholas, that it's you are probably happy, and you know the way how you are working and how you can extend your actual network very fast. It depends on the project and needs. But maybe Tassos, you can give some more insights. Are you happy with your regional and European Union network?
As I mentioned before, at this point, yes, we are progressing very well. We do have built this kind of network, so it's not a huge challenge for us, let's say, at this point. Of course, we need to strengthen it in order to further evolve. But I think that while getting in touch and working together with other SMEs in our island, and especially in Limassol, where we are based, actually, what I have realized is that they need significant support in building their networks, because they do not have the momentum, they do not have the positioning that we do have, and it is really hard for someone, it is really hard for an SME to build this network. Definitely, they require a lot of support. They require the means in order to get involved into something that will allow them to reach other partners, to reach national, regional, but also European partners, promote their competencies, promote their advantages, and make sure that they do have, the fundamental factors in order to be actively involved in European research and innovation activities, or in regional ones. But definitely, we may not be the case that we should be discussing right now, but definitely there are a lot of SMEs and a lot of companies in Cyprus that require further support in order to build this kind of network.
Thank you very much for your opinion. Still, Nicholas, maybe you would like to add something also?
Yes, I think I'm going to give you a very Cypriot perspective, although I am originally French. If you look at a map, you'll realize that Cyprus is the only EU country in the Middle East. And our geographic position also affects which are the markets that we can work with our innovation, especially in the field of energy. And that market for us is the Eastern Mediterranean, Middle East region. It's not necessarily the EU only. So while it's great that we get further integrated within Europe, this European network, any opportunity that would allow us to have cross-regional collaboration and to play this role that Cyprus is always playing as a bridge between the European research area on one side and the researchers in the Eastern Mediterranean and Middle East, which is really what most of us do. Any opportunity of this type would be extremely valuable for us.
Okay, thank you very much. And yes, I think that just summing up this discussion, I can see there is, of course, there is a lack of the different kind of information, and maybe also human resources and so on. But yeah, what I want to say here, what I would like to add here is that the Pantera are working also on the best practice cases. It means that we also can collect your best cases and share with the other countries. And I really, how to say, impressed that the Cyprus, this approach, what you use, are really friendly. You're really working very close. And as I know that you are the most, how to say, the country which is attracted the most funding from the Horizon projects. Yes, I know about this also. So we can use the Cyprus as a best practice case, how to create a network and how to organize. Thank you very much for the participant. Thank you very much for your opinions, to the answers to the questions. And Venizelos, I will give the floor to you to sum up, maybe to say some final.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anna, and the panelists, Nick, Tassos, and Fanos, who left, for contributing to this roundtable discussion. I think we have received very interesting answers. Not that we didn't expect them. We did expect quite a few of these. And but I'm very happy from this, what we are seeing here, that there is a strong feeling that we need to build a regional interest in co-funding opportunities, something that is highly of value to us. We felt that there is this need throughout Europe. That's why the specialization objectives of Europe in building regional interest of cooperation is something that has been activated quite a lot throughout Europe, and I think it's something that we need to strengthen. But also there is a need to find where we are strong in Cyprus, for example, and build on that. And I think quite correctly, Tassos has mentioned before that we shouldn't take the position that we know everything. If we want to be centers of excellence, we need to identify the areas that we have strong points and dwell on them and build on them and strengthen them. And I think the Pantera process is bringing this into this. And the Pantera process is not here for just a project. The Pantera process is going to be with us from now on because we would like to keep it sustainable. A process that will take off from the Pantera project, but continue, like Nick said before, we started in 2007 and build the process, and it's still continuing, and let's give more life into it and continue it in a direction that will serve the country in the best possible way. And I think Andonis Julianos has told us a lot of issues around what the funding agency is doing in Cyprus, but I think quite a lot of us are not well aware of all the extent of work that is being done and what is planned. And I think what is planned is what is more important, and how we can help that in order to go in the direction that really Cyprus wants. And I think George Bartasidis, coming from the ministry, he has identified that, yes, there is a lot of positives in what we think is good for Cyprus, but there are things that are more urgent than others, and there are things that have more value to the Cyprus economy than others. Okay, let's work for what is best for Cyprus in the best possible way that we can build this process forward. And I think Pantera process is for this, contributing to this, identifying, strengthening, bringing all the views forward and building together what is best for the country, and through the country, what is best for Europe. We have talked about a lot of issues today and yesterday, and I think this workshop has brought a lot of ideas forward. We thank a lot all the participants to this workshop, especially our invited guests from abroad. I would like to thank specifically Ivan, who came from Supera. We consider Supera a project that is very similar to what the Pantera project is doing. We are trying to align with what SETPLAN is putting forward as a strategy for Europe. Ivan correctly has identified where Europe wants us to go, and maybe we are not 100% in that direction. And that is why it's of critical importance that national strategies do take particular attention as to where the European strategies are expected to go and how we can align our, let's say, areas of competency, area of needs and interests to serve and contribute to the wider interest of Europe. And I think one of the reasons why Pantera has been created and Supera has been created is to help this very issue. How can we help research and innovation in countries like Cyprus and the rest of the low activity countries in Europe, that quite a few are around this table, they are partners in this Pantera project. How can we reignite this and help these countries to strengthen their participation in this direction and build a process, a venture, a way of helping these countries to build on best practices of other countries? And as Anna said, is best practices don't come only from advanced countries. Best practices can also come from us. And so let's build these best practices around and let's learn from them and let's build in the direction of making a repository of best practices that can help us in the way forward. And this is, again, one of the good things about the Pantera platform and the Pantera process, because we would like to really find these good practices, give them substance, content, and make them available for others to use and pick on them and learn from them and strengthen their activity in that direction. And in this process, I think we are finding quite a lot of support from all circles that we have touched on. And I think in that direction also, we have found a lot of support from DG Energy, a lot of support from JRC, who have seen the benefits of this Pantera process, and they have accepted the platform that we are putting forward, the ideas that we have put forward through the Pantera project. That is something that is helping the whole of Europe, and that's why they have accepted the platform that we called originally Pantera platform, now is called the IRI platform. And the IRI platform is aiming to be the European interconnection for research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Now, the IRI platform is the name that the DG Energy has given to it, and they have taken a decision to make it sustainable, to give it life, and to give it the means to have life after the Pantera project completes its circle of 4 years. So after 2022, the end of 22, Spring project, which is supported financially by DG Energy, is going to take over and continue together with JRC to continue giving back to Europe what we will develop through the Pantera project and constantly enriching it and giving it more life in order to continue serving the research and innovation community of Europe in giving back to Europe what we consider best. Knowledge Europe is what we consider is the best weapon of Europe, and we consider that the economy of Europe is very dependent on knowledge, is very dependent, so the economy of Europe is knowledge economy. And so in that respect, research and innovation for Europe is critical, and I think to a great extent is also highly critical for Cyprus as well, because we are in Cyprus. That's why I'm pinpointing Cyprus. And quite, I think Andonis Ilianos has already said that energy, together with tourism for Cyprus, are considered the most important items of that the government should concentrate on in building research and innovation and improving on that. And all this give us more interest in finding the way of unifying activities, we in Cyprus, but through Pantera, throughout the low activity countries, and through ERI, the whole of Europe. So with this, I would like to call this workshop towards the end of it. Thank you very much all for attending it. We still have some time until 1:15. I think it's 1:15 that we have the next, we have time until 1:15. So since we have until 1:15, I will be very happy if we can open the microphones to everybody and see any opinion from anyone. Can you?
Mr. Venizelos, we cannot open the microphone for everyone.
Okay, raise hands.
Make them all panelists in order for that.
Okay.
But if anyone has any questions, like raise their hand and we'll allow them to talk.
Yeah, please. So anyone who has a strong opinion, and I would like, first of all, Ivan to just give his opinion if he's still around. I think he's still around. Just give him the floor to tell us his overall impression of what he has learned today. Ivan, are you with us?
I think not.
Okay, I'm here. Okay, thank you, because you muted me automatically. Yes.
Okay, Ivan, I would like to hear from you what you have learned today from this workshop.
Well, I learned one side, what I already, let's say, I just strengthened my opinion about the great job you are doing through FOSS and also through Pantera. So compliments once again on this. The way how you manage to involve many people in the research activities you are performing, because it's not so easy. You know, we have also in Super a dedicated session, dedicated activities how to involve member states, so-called new member states, so those that have joined the European Union after 2004, to make them closer to what are the research innovation objectives of the European Union in the light of the set plan and the broader energy transition. There are still many, let's say, challenges in front of us, especially when we consider that the set plan will go under revision, where let's say the role of member states, of the program owners within the member states, will be crucial. And this revision also, let's say, of the set plan should go hand in hand with the energy transition partnership, which was mentioned by Cypriot authorities and people from the funding agencies. And what I also saw, it's really great willingness to collaborate on the larger European level. What I have to say also, because Cyprus is hosting this important workshop, which in a general opinion, and it's wrongly, it's considered at the periphery of, geographical periphery of the Union. But what they're doing, guys, shows that it's not, that you are at the center, it's in the center instead of the research activity of Europe. So thank you very much. And you will find the support of ERA community, which gathers the major institutions, LTOs in the energy sector, to support you. So thank you, Venizelos.
Yes, thank you very much, Ivan. Take our regards to ERA. We know you are doing a very good job there, and we will definitely look forward to future cooperation. Thank you very much. And I also would like to thank the projects that have participated in our two-day event. We have the Interplan today that I think has produced very good results for from a technical side. And Christina and Atta have presented the results of the project. We thank them very much. I don't know if they would like to say any last words on this, but also yesterday we had the participation into our workshop of the project Navigant. And I don't see in the audience someone from Navigant. Anyone present? No. Okay, but I think that we are fine with this. So if any last point from anyone, Ata or Christina, if they would like to say last words on this from the side of Interplan, they are welcome to do. Or anyone else. Otherwise, we can call it a day.
Venizelos, just I would like to thank for giving us the opportunity to present Interplan project. So Interplan is actually ending within the next months, and actually that was a great opportunity to present the results. And I can see that from the audience and the panelists, there are several potential stakeholders for Interplan achievements, and this could be very interesting and good opportunity for us. Also, on the other hand, I am also involved in Pantera project, and actually I learned a lot from the discussions, and thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. And I think that this two-day event has given us a lot of information, a lot of feedback. I think most of the things we have received are positive in the direction that we were thinking about, but it's very important that stakeholders have voiced themselves, and they have given these these messages to us, because they are of critical importance. I can see in the audience or in the participants, Amelia. Amelia, would you like to say a few words? No, okay, no problem. Probably he's just stepped on the side. Thank you very much anyway, everybody. And I think the next point here in the agenda is to, we have the closing events. So Evan Fia is we are going to be transferred to the center.
Yes, you need to exit this room and be transferred. Just a moment, there's someone that wants to talk. 1 minute.
Okay.
Mr. George.
Okay, let's see who. Can you give him the floor?
Yes, I'm trying. Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
It's George
Okay, George. Yes, please go ahead.
Actually, I was in another meeting and I just jumped in, so I didn't hear the question. Was a question particularly for me, or?
No, it was a comment that from what everything we have said, the work that we are doing, the cooperation that we are building, the fact that we are trying to find what is the best, the strong points of Cyprus to align with the set plan and build the process forward, and how the Interplan process that we have, the Pantera process that we have built through the project, can help in this direction.
Yes,
it was
just a general comment, because I missed some of the points. I was listening in the beginning, but then I had to do an intervention in another panel. Just to let you know that one of the points that we have identified is the lack of the administrative people here in the government in order to support you on all these efforts. So in order to overcome this problem, we have now put on board the new Ministry of Innovation that they will help us also in the National Energy Climate Plan. We have already asked in the National Energy Climate Plan to increase the budget based on the GDP of Cyprus. And actually, you have seen the request is to go much higher than it is today. I don't remember exactly the number now. I think it's going up to 1.5 of GDP. In the area of energy, Ministry of Energy is already participating in 4 programs now under the Restart program that has to do with the grid expansion, with the storage facilities, with the bus fuels and hydrogen usage. And also we're trying to do some research and innovation in the maritime sector. I'm not sure if I am out of the point, but I hope this gives you some ideas. Of course, there are more projects that we are coming. CSP is an important technology for Cyprus, comparing with the hydrogen, and this is something that we want to emphasize because we are participating in various working groups. We see a strong interest on offshore wind and production of hydrogen, but what we have seen in our modeling exercise is that CSP technology maybe is more convenient for Cyprus and suits best to the, at least to the long-term strategy. And of course, after 2050, 2040, 2050 period, hydrogen, when it is more the levelized cost for the production of hydrogen will come less, I believe come also on the table. This is from my side, and I don't want to waste
Thank you very much.
more.
Thank you very much, George. And I think what we note down is the 1.5% of GDP going towards research and innovation. I think this is highly welcomed by the research and innovation family community of Cyprus. And this will help us a lot in building our activities forward. So now we can go to the closing session of the conference. Thank you very much again all for connecting and staying with us. And I think overall I can say that we have completed with success what we aimed to do through this workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you.